Welcome to this outdoor edition to Life as God Intended. I'm Don, glad you've joined me today, this beautiful sunny afternoon here in Vero Beach, Florida. Temperatures around 81 degrees. Hard to beat. Or some of you I know scattered across the country are much more difficult weather conditions. Stay tuned as we discuss today, have you left your first love? So as mentioned in the introduction, I'd like to discuss, have you left your first love? When I counsel many couples, their love has waned between one another. And frankly, they've left their first love. You know, that sometimes referred to, it's not a biblical concept, but that puppy love, that love at first sight, that falling in love. They've kind of left that first love where, they would do anything to be in each other's company. They would even participate in things that weren't really something that they enjoyed, like a guy enjoying going to the mall and shopping just so that he could be with his gal. Or maybe the girl participating in a sporting events, even though that wasn't necessarily her thing. So what does it mean that we've left our first love? And notice I said left it and not lost it. Sometimes people incorrectly believe that they lost what they first had. Well, the scriptural basis that I'm going to use for leaving rather than lost would be in the book of Revelation, chapter 2, where the resurrected Christ, speaking through the apostle John as he was exiled on the Isle of Patmos, penned for us the letters to the churches, the 7 churches of the Revelation. By the way, I had the privilege of visiting Turkey a few years back with my friend Jim Fowler, and we visit each of those cities, and some places there wasn't much to see as far as ruins or remains, but in other places there were, and one in particular was Ephesus. There's lots of ruins there to be able to walk through and appreciate. And so the letter to the Ephesus church, the Ephesians church, Jesus said, I know your works. They had been faithful in their works. I know your patience. They were carrying out the mechanics of what it looked like to be Christian. They're kind of going through the motions like many Christians today. But he said, I have this one thing against you, and that is that you have left your first love. Notice he didn't say they had lost it. One of the most important aspects of that differentiation between left and lost is that you and I cannot produce love. Love is a person. Agape love is Jesus Christ. And so to be able to experience love, it must be derived from the person of love. And of course, as we become Christians, we are united. We're in union with Jesus Christ. And as a result, he first loved us before we can ever, as it were, return the favor, before we can love in return. And so what Jesus was saying to them is, you've left your first love. You've left that initial excitement, that honeymoon experience that you initially appreciated when I spiritually regenerated you, and you were so excited about walking by faith and participating with me and every step of the way. Jesus is saying that they had left it, and he is now encouraging them to repent and do the first works over again. And when he says first works, he's simply recognizing or encouraging them to recognize that Christianity, that is our Christian walk, is a walk of faith. And so that they would once again begin to walk by faith, recognizing that there is no love lost between us, but that we have simply left. We had kind of vacated the premises. We got distracted. And so oftentimes in talking with couples, married couples, I hear them discuss the fact that they no longer feel like they're in love. They no longer feel the same passion, the same desire. Sometimes they feel like it's time to move on to someone else. And that's tragic because, again, they have not lost their love. If they could lose it, then frankly, they never had it. They never really understood what love was. As I said, love is derived. And so love is selfless. Love is others-oriented. And so more than aught, what's happened is they've left it. They've left a love that is others-oriented. They've left a place of being more concerned about the other than they were themselves. And so oftentimes in the vacuum of love, actually there really isn't a vacuum. In the absence of love, I should say, there is, once again, selfishness. And so when you feel like you've left your love, you need to allow God to draw your heart back to the one who is love and allow him to communicate to you his unconditional love and not base your relationship with your lover on expectations. Expectations have destroyed more than one relationship because oftentimes they're tied up with our emotions and our feelings, and people aren't able to live up to our expectations, what we think the relationship should be. And so relationships aren't based on the fact that somebody's achieving or measuring up to my expectations or your expectations or anybody else's. It's not a matter of achievement. Relationship is based on what Jesus Christ is doing in our lives and whether or not we're willing to offer that to somebody else freely and to be engaged in a loving manner with someone else. And so if you're struggling in your marriage and you feel like you've lost something, well, you might have lost the reality of what you originally loved. You loved a person. You felt like you loved a person unconditionally. You might be discovering that your concept of unconditional love wasn't as perfect or pure, or you may have had a little bit of a distorted view of what that love really was looking like. It might have been more about you than it was the other individual. But I can promise you this: if you allow the love of Jesus Christ to conform you and to love you back into relationship with himself, you'll find it much easier to be able to love somebody else unconditionally, without expectations, without worrying about what their response is going to be and whether or not they measure up to what you think they should do. And you'll begin to let the love of Christ dictate the relationship. And that's a much easier place, a freer place. That's the place of love, as you will learn how to do unto your loved one as God has done to you freely, unconditionally. And so if you feel like you've left something today, repent. Do the first works over again. Acknowledge that you're the one that's moved. Your loved one's still there. They're still available to be loved unconditionally. And choose to do so. Choose to walk by faith, depending on Jesus, and allowing him to teach you how to love your spouse unconditionally for his glory and for the enrichment of your marriage and family. Till next time, thanks for sharing these videos with your friends. We hope you were encouraged and blessed by this video. We would love to hear from you and get your feedback and interact with you. If you have a testimony that relates to today's discussion, please share it below in the comments, or send us an email with your inquiries or topic suggestions. We love to hear from you.
don't forget to subscribe to the channel and click that notification bell so that you won't miss any of our broadcasts. Be sure to check out our blog on our website, LifeAsGodIntended.org, which is also in the description below. And if you would like to support our work financially, we have also provided a link for your tax-deductible donations. Until next time, may you experience life as God intended.